Hi, and welcome to the first video in setting up your basic yearbook layout. You should have opened the fall layout template that's in the yearbook shared drive already, and when you open it up, it should look like this on your screen in InDesign. So if you don't have it open yet, you'll want to push pause and get that open so that you can continue on with this tutorial. In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up your page, how to draw columns, how to draw your horizontal eyeline, and how to open up your tools. So, to start off, here's our page in InDesign. Over here on this left side, we have a list of tools that are going to help. This is our primary toolbar, but we're also going to have a secondary toolbar that will open up in a little bit. First thing we're going to do is create columns. You may not always use these when designing, but you want to use them to start off while you're still learning. So in order to create columns on your page, you're going to go up to this top bar and click on Layout, and then you're going to click Margins and Columns. It's going to open up this menu bar here. We don't need to mess with these margins. These are already set by our yearbook company, but we do want to change the number of columns here. So if your gutter here isn't already set to 0p5, please set it to that by typing in 0p5. And then here you can change the number of columns. If you don't have the preview bar or button clicked already, you can click that so you can see as you go that when you increase the number, it'll increase the number of columns here. And since we set the gutter, the space in between them at 0p5, we know they all have a half of a pica margin in between them. So my suggestion for today is to set between 6 and 8 columns. The more columns you have, the more you can work with. So I'm going to put with 8 and hit OK. So what this does is creates 8 evenly spaced columns across each page, so 16 across the entire spread. If you want to zoom in, you hit Control+, and that'll get you a little bit closer so you can see a little bit better. Now we're going to create our horizontal eyeline. And to do that, we need to go up to this ruler bar up here. Go up to your ruler bar with your cursor and click the mouse. Hold down on it, and when you drag down, you'll see this blue line comes with you, and it'll say Y, and right now it's on 11p6. That is the position of this line on the page. And what you want to do is you want to position it somewhere that is in the top half of the page in general. So about here might be halfway down the page. I want it to be somewhere in the top half, but where I've still got a good amount of room, so it should be close to the middle, but not quite at the middle. And when you're dragging this, you want to try to get it as close to on an even pica as possible. So here I got it on 34p0, and then unclick and let it go. What that does is it creates a guide that's going to stay there, and that's going to guide where you're going to put the elements on your page. Now we need to create another one so that we have a perfect half of a pica margin. So go back up to the top, click, and drag down. Now since this one was at 34, we have to create our line at exactly 33p5 or 34p5 so that it's an exact half pica away. And this is going to be a little tricky by just doing it with your hand. So my suggestion is to drop it somewhere close. So we're at 33p6.002. And then once you've dropped it pretty close, go up here to this bar up here where it says Y, and you can edit so that it's exactly. So you want to get rid of that 6 and make it into 5. And it is very important that it is exactly a half a pica away. So don't skimp on that. Don't forget to do that part. So now we've got our horizontal eyeline on this side of the page. We need to also create it on this other side. So do the same thing over here. And it should be easier to kind of find the spot. See there, it's almost there. It's at 33p6. So I'm going to come back up and I'm going to put it at 33p5. And again, I'm going to move this down to 34. If you can't get it exact, just type it in right there. If I zoom out now, Control-, you'll see I've got my horizontal eyeline. Okay. Now that I zoom out, I see mine's a little bit too close to the center. So you might want to move it up. And in order to move it up without undoing all the work that you did, go outside of your layout, off to the side here, click, hold, draw a box, and it's going to select those two, and then you can use the arrow on your keyboard to move them both at the same time. So let's just move it up a little bit. I'm going to get it at 29, and that way it's not so close to the center. I'm not cutting my page right in half. And they're both still exactly a half of a pico away. We also want to create a horizontal eye line, but luckily our margins already kind of do that for us. So we're just going to, just highlight one of these as our horizontal eye line. So go back over here to the other side where this ruler is and do the same thing, but all you have to do this time is try to get it exactly on one of those purple lines. And these purple lines are going to be right on a pica too, so here it's saying 18p 9.375. I'm going to change that to be exactly on 18 so that it's perfectly aligned, but you want to just basically get it as close as possible to those for your horizontal eye line. And you want to create this eye line not so close to the gutter that you won't have any space to put any elements here, but not right in the middle either. So once those are perfectly aligned on your purple, on that purple one, you're good. Now we're going to open up our toolbars so that we are ready to go and start designing. You're going to go to Window and open up the following toolbars. Click on Links. Go back up to Window, click on Stroke, go back up to Window, click on Type and Tables and open up Character, go back up to Window, Type and Tables and open up Paragraph. And those you're going to want to use. One more is going to be your swatches. So Window, go to Object and Layout, you can click Align, that one's going to be helpful too. Some of these might pop up already because of previous settings, that's good. Just make sure you've got at least those opened up on the side there so that you can start designing. And you can drag this toolbar off to the side so that it doesn't interfere with what you're doing. That's the end of this first video. In the next video, we're going to learn how to work with text and to place pictures.